game. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
You love it. You got a mustache. It's Movember. Not anymore. That's it. Welcome into Post Game Pints Podcast. I'm Campbell. He's Gallo. We're in it for another round. And if you can't tell, we might be going a little NFL today. I'll see if Mitch can figure out what jersey I'm wearing all show long. as I got this yellow football jersey. Who knows? All right, we got plenty to get to. It's brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery. Check them out at labrosse.com. 133 LaBrosse in Point Claire. Mention the podcast, you get 10% off. It's that easy. You can mention something that happened on the podcast. Like if we ask you who was on the last podcast, well, it was the best girl. And she's probably the one that's going to serve you when you go there. And she knows her brews quite well. But Mitch, you want to talk NFL? Sir. You want to talk NFL? Rapid fire?
Hey, NFL is the only sport going on right now, so let's talk a little National Football League.
All right. I kind of want to concentrate on quarterbacks because quarterbacks are where it's at when it comes to the NFL. You and I, if we say who's the best quarterback in the NFL, are we both just going to say Patrick Mahomes? Okay, that's fine. I'm with you. 25-year-old Patrick Mahomes. Who is the closest to being in the same category as Patrick Mahomes? Who's number 2 in the National Football League, Mitch?
All right, well, great match. When I'm done my spiel, blah, 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 Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 Aaron Rodgers. I know I'm biased, but Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. So I know it's coming up in about 2 minutes. Very, very predictable.
Well, it should be coming up now because that's what you should be saying.
Well, you know what? He's a great quarterback, and I don't want to take anything away from him. But I think in this day and age, if we're going to talk about who can be closest to a guy like Patrick Mahomes, I'm not going to take a pocket passer like Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take somebody who's a little more fleet of foot. So
okay, hold on, because I'm just that's fine. And by closest, I meant just closest to his caliber, not closest to how he is. Does that make sense? Like I just want to know who's number 2, however they are. But go ahead. Sorry,
well,
I just wanted to clarify what I said.
I think Peyton Manning is of high caliber, and he wasn't fleet of foot. And obviously, Tom Brady is considered by many the greatest quarterback of all time, and he didn't run all that well either. But in this day and age, in this NFL, if I'm running a team, I want to go with somebody who is fleet of foot, someone maybe a little bit younger, but not young where they don't have experience. Sean, the guy I'm going to go with is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, his stats are off the charts. Even though he had a bad game a couple weeks ago against the LA Rams, his statistics are still very, very strong. So I mark it down here. Right now in passing yards, Russell Wilson is second after Patrick Mahomes. In completion percentage, he ranks 3rd. In touchdown passes, he ranks number 1. And in rushing yards, he ranks number 4 among quarterbacks. I just think that Russell Wilson has the complete package. He does a little bit of everything. Nice touch on his ball. He can throw deep. He can dink and dunk. He can run the football. And I think we would be talking much better about Russell Wilson if his secondary wasn't putrid and he doesn't have a couple losses tacked onto his record because his defense can't stop anything as far as aerial attack. So I'm going to say Russell Wilson right now is the guy to me that deserves to be right under the caliber of Patrick Mahomes. Of course, I'm going by the way they've played this year.
All right, look, one, I'm going to say I like your answer. Okay, I really do. And I know that I'm biased, but you know what I'm going to say. There is a difference between Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I understand Russell Wilson runs the ball better, but Russell Wilson is still prone to a boneheaded throw every now and then. Just a bad play, like eat the ball, take the sack, throw it away. Something that Aaron Rodgers does time and time again. And maybe that affects his completion percentage because he throws away more balls. And I'm just thinking, just throw Aaron Rodgers with a receiving core of Lockett and DK Metcalf. I know he has Devontae Adams, trust me. But the drop-off from Devontae Adams to Alan Lazard or Valdez-Scantling is just tenfold. And I think about the same thing when you think about the weapons that Patrick Mahomes had. Like, just even put Russell Wilson with those weapons. Put Aaron Rodgers with those weapons. I mean, put Daniel Jones with those weapons. I think there's going to be a difference. I just think the ability to protect the football in today's game is something that Aaron Rodgers does just as well and at that, high level, better than anybody else. I think that there is that elite throwing, the deep ball. You got that with Russell Wilson. You got that with Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to sit here and debate about their arm strength between the two. I don't think we need to. I just think there's just that one little thing about protecting the ball that Aaron Rodgers gets the edge over Russell Wilson. But I'm not going to lie. I think those are the two that are the closest to Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
because if you said Aaron Rodgers just to take it away from me, I would have said Russell Wilson.
I think that Rodgers is in a class of his own when it comes to football IQ and protecting the football and not making boneheaded plays. If we're talking about that aspect of things, I actually might have him ahead of Patrick Mahomes at this time. Thing is, the other guys, they have some other strengths that maybe Rodgers doesn't. Rodgers is getting up there in age, Sean, and still only has that one Super Bowl championship to his belt, whereas the other two guys are under 30 and have some time to add a couple more notches since they both have one apiece.
Yeah, they only have
one. On your boy.
They only have one. They only have one. We'll see after this year. Maybe one of those guys are going to have two. Maybe they're going to two of these three guys are going to be in the Super Bowl, which I'd take because the talent that you have at the quarterback position is high end. Anyways, I think those guys are the closest. So let's transition that. You said getting up there in age, Mitch. Let's take quarterbacks 38 and over, because if you go 35 and over, I think it's not even close. Aaron Rodgers wins because he's right there. Yeah. With 38 and over, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, all on winning teams and having great years. I mean, ups and downs. Which old quarterback do you trust the most? Who do you think out of all those?
I think the answer is easy, Sean. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Look at the standings. Look at the records. I like what Phillip Rivers has done. Phillip Rivers in big games has always let his team down. Historically, with San Diego, anytime, this guy would have the greatest statistics in the regular season and then can never win a playoff game. You look at success, playoff success this season, the ability to do different things. The answer is Ben Roethlisberger. You're going to have a hard time pitching me on the other three guys, Sean.
Well, I knew you weren't going to say Tom Brady. And look, there's Tom Brady, and it's funny. I was kind of looking at the interceptions in the last 3 years. He's up there. He's a guy that just throws a lot of picks. He's just not the same, in ball protection like he used to be. He doesn't read defenses like he used to. He's not really cohesive with his group. He does still make plays. He's still Tom Brady, and he's better than most. Trust me, he's on a good team, and he'll be fine, and they'll be competitive, and he gets hot at the right time. Tom Brady can be walking away with number 7. We all know that. Drew Brees, I just don't see the arm strength anymore. Phillip Rivers, I do like, but I want to sit here and disagree with you, but I can't make a case than any other one than Ben Roethlisberger. He's a proven winner in the playoffs. He's coming back from injury, and he's looking great. He's not looking dominant. He's using the weapons that he has around him. He still has a quality deep ball that lands into the hands of Claypool, and he's making young guys look good. I'm with you. As old guys go, I'm going with Ben Roethlisberger. Sorry. I want to disagree with you, Mitch, but I can't.
All right, so who do you have among the young guys?
All right, and by young, since Patrick Mahomes is 25, anybody under 25, you could go Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, who I really like, but I got to go Kyler Murray. I'm sorry. I got to go with Kyler Murray. I just really like the dynamic of him. The only thing I'm worried about is what we're kind of seeing with Lamar Jackson, MVP already at such a young age. And he looks like he's easy to defend now. I know he's impossible to defend and the game plans go through. I hope that doesn't happen to Kyler Murray next year, what we're seeing with Lamar Jackson. And I hope that they can work through it. I think maybe in 10 years, I might be talking about Justin Herbert because I really like what I see from him in the Chargers. But out of the young quarterbacks right now, I can't turn away from a game that Kyler Murray is in. And that's a factor for me, is watchability. And I've really been impressed. A Hail Mary coming from behind. He almost did it again. He just ran out of time just a couple weeks ago. I got to go young guy, Kyler Murray.
Well, you know what? It's funny because if we would have had this conversation just 10 weeks ago, we would have been talking about Lamar Jackson. It would have been a slam dunk. And right now I'm inclined to say Kyler Murray. But then again, I want to make it a fair fight between all the different quarterbacks that we're talking about. And Kyler Murray, I love watching him play, Sean. You and I have spoken about this. I was really looking forward to that game between Seattle and Arizona a couple weeks ago. But the fact of the matter is he has a lot of help. In the backfield, he has Chase Edmonds and he has Kenyon Drake, a two-headed monster in the backfield when he can run too. Like you put the ball in this guy's hands, he looks like Super Mario, how fast his feet are moving. I love watching play. He has one of the best receivers in football in DeAndre Hopkins. So it's a good situation to walk into in your second season in the NFL when you have two of the better running backs in the game and a threat like DeAndre Hopkins and a pretty decent offensive line. So I look around, I'm like, okay, if we're talking about 10 years from now, who are we going to be talking about? And you know what? Draft pedigree means something to me, Sean. When you're the top draft pick in any given year, and I know Kyler Murray was at the top of the board 2 seasons ago, but man, oh man, I think as long as he could come back from that horrific injury from a week ago or 2 weeks ago now, Joe Burrow was having a fantastic rookie season. I know it's a good rookie class with Burrow, Tua, and Herbert all going in the top 10 of that draft. But man, oh man, Joe Burrow is a special player. And as long as he heals to 100%, I think we're going to be talking about him down the road with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I was thinking about it. I was counting it up. There are 11, now that I know Burrow's hurt, and then Tua lost his job to Fitzpatrick again, but there were 11 quarterbacks, 25 or under, starting for their team in the National Football League. And that included Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Daniel Jones. I mean, I think we're in a golden age of quarterbacks coming into the NFL, of guys that I think are going to have long careers, that these guys might be just at the head of their team for decades. And we see at the other end, I told you about the old guys, 38 years old. They're going to have to move on at some point. But right under them, you have the Matt Ryans and the Aaron Rodgers at 35 plus. You know, Matt Stafford's not far. Right in the middle, you have Russell Wilson. We're in a golden age of quarterbacks with these young guys, and some of these young guys might be there for a very long time.
Yeah, well, I think I read a story on NFL.com that was comparing this draft class of 2020, which featured Burrow, Tua, and Herbert, to the draft class in 1983 that featured Elway, Marino, and Montana. So some high praise already directed at the rookies from this year's crop.
Why don't you let us know in the comments below here on Post Game Pints podcast, Campbell and Gallo. Who's one of your favorite old quarterbacks, 38 plus? Who's one of your favorite young quarterbacks? And is there anybody that close to Patrick Mahomes? A little NFL talk. And of course, Mitch, we are brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery. Make sure you go by. And if you mention the podcast and that you were watching this episode, Talking NFL, if you're talking anything else, make sure that you mention the podcast, because you're going to just get 10% off your purchase. And it's going to be pretty sweet. Plus, Mitch, we've been teasing it. We've been teasing it the last few podcasts, but I know on social media, on our Post Game Pints Facebook page, on your Twitter, on my Twitter, wherever we are, we're all over social media. Mitch, something pretty special is coming down coming Christmas.
Yeah, you know what? I was getting some ideas, Sean, with the Bar Laitier. as far as what beer I'm going to come up with. And the Angry Gallo Ale is going to be something delicious. I can promise you that. And I know you got something special in store for the IPA, for the play-by-play IPA.
Yeah, the Campbell play-by-play IPA versus the Angry Gallo Ale. That will be coming. We're, in conjunction with LaBrosse. Gallo's getting a beer. I'm getting a beer. And then we're going to turn it to you, and you're going to tell us which beer you like best. I hope you try them both, but I just hope you try 2 of mine and 1 of his. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that in the month of December. LaBrosse.com. Check out their opening hours. The tap room's not open just yet, of course, COVID restrictions, but you can go and pick up your beer. And when you do, mention the Post Game Pints podcast. Ready for some classic sports arguments, Mitch?
I was born ready, Sean.
You want to talk money?
Sure.
All right. Before we talk money, have you figured out what jersey I'm wearing yet?
Yeah, it's a Green Bay Packers Favre jersey.
All right. There you go. They never wore the yellow, though. They never wore the yellow.
Thank God.
It's pretty bright. It's pretty bright. All right. So what do we got for our classic sports argument?
All right, classic sports argument, Sean. This week we're going to go with what is the worst contract in the NHL?
Oh, there's so many, Mitch. There's so many. There's so many. So are you letting me go, or would you like to go first? Do you want?
No, you can go first.
Are you worried that I might steal your worst contract? Because there are so many to choose from. There's so many bad contracts.
A little bit, but I only wrote 1 down.
Okay. I wrote a couple, but I'll let you go first then.
You let me go first then?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
All right, because Sean, my contract that I'm going to go with is a player that you love. I'm going to say the worst contract in hockey. Sean, which position do I always say you should not invest a lot of cap space in?
The goaltender position.
Which is why I am going to the worst contract in hockey being the one of Sergei Bobrovsky. Sergei Bobrovsky has the worst contract in the NHL. He is owed $10 million per season through 2026. He has a no movement clause. He's coming off the worst season in his career. He's never played well in any other system other than the one that John Tortorella runs in Columbus. And to top it off, Sean, they used a top 15 pick to draft a goalie the year they signed him. Sergei Bobrovsky is the worst contract in the league by far.
Okay, now here's the thing. He can turn that around, though. Look, and I'm not saying like right now, Sergei Bobrovsky's contract does not look good. It's a lot for a goalie. You hate goalie contracts. I get it. But he has time to turn that around. And it's not like Sergei Bobrovsky sitting there at 37 years old and with 5 years left on his contract and they have to pay him $10 million. I think that there is a margin there. Yeah, he's coming off his worst year with the Florida Panthers, but I still think that it doesn't necessarily have to be the worst contract. I'm going to go to the Minnesota Wild, and I know they had a couple of contracts just sitting there, but I'm going to go with Zach Parise. Zach Parise is 36 years old. He has 5 years left on a contract that pays him $7.5 million. Now, why is the contract bad? One, it hasn't been good from the beginning. In his time with the New Jersey Devils, before he signed this contract, he had 5 30-goal seasons. 5 30-goal seasons. He's done it in 8 years once in Minnesota. 5 times he hit 60 points plus, including a 94-point season with the Devils. They go sign him to this long contract. In the first 8 years, he's only hit 60 points twice, and that was 61 and 62. And now you still have 5 years left on this contract. He's not going to get better. You'd think he's suddenly going to turn into a 30-goal scorer and a 60-point player year in and year out at 37, 38, 39. It's been bad from the beginning, and there's no sign of getting out of it. So that's why I think there's a little bit of a difference there when it comes to the Bobrovsky. There's light maybe that it can get better, and he can put in a season where he's going to be a top 10 goalie. He may not be worth $10 million. But Zach Parise has not been worth this money from the get-go with the Minnesota Wild. He's proven in the prime years of the contract, and now he's in the twilight of the contract. Oh, twilight? 5 years left at 36 years old. Awful contract, Minnesota Wild, and Zach Parise. I think it's worse. I could say the same thing about Ryan Suter, but I think there's more to be said about what a defenseman can do at 37, 38, 39 versus a scoring forward. I'm going to go with Zach Parise.
The only thing I'll say about that, Sean, is that the Sergei Bobrovsky contract, in my opinion, is untradeable, where Zach Parise, Lou Lamoriello is stupid enough to make that move.
Yeah, he also has a no move clause, too, on top of that. And just a little bit of love, can I just throw this out there? A little bit of love to a signing that I loved by Vancouver 5 years ago, Louis Eriksson.
Yeah, it's a bad contract. It's a bad deal.
6 years, $1 million. He had 3 30-goal scorer seasons with Dallas and Boston. This will be his 5th year with Vancouver. In the 4 years, he's only scored 38 goals. Yeah. His highest was 11, and he still has 2 years left on that contract as a 35-year-old. I mean, that is a really bad contract. It was very close to being number 2 for me.
All right, hey Sean, let's get going here because I spent an hour and 15 minutes in traffic today, so my phone battery is at 7%.
All right, let's go. It's time for a pop quiz. I don't want you to do a pop quiz. I don't want to do a pop quiz. We talk about Dave Trentadue all the time. He's the man that makes the magic happen here on the Post Game Pints podcast. We welcome in for the first time at our second guest. He's not a guest. He's part of the family. What's up, DT?
What's up, guys? How are you? Good to join you.
Hey, you're drinking the Ukrainian one too.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to show some love for the Ukrainians. Like
awesome.
It?
So
it's delicious.
It's great. So, Dave, we're bringing you in because you're going to pop quiz Mitch and I.
Sweet. I can't wait. Did I disappear?
He's not here, man.
No.
Yeah, I just lost him on the screen.
Give me a second here.
That's fine.
There you go. I'm back.
Hey, Dave's back.
Dave is back.
Yes.
Dave is back.
All right, guys. So last, when the playoffs came back, everyone was wondering, would you rather have Alex Lafreniere? Would you rather have NHL playoff action for the Habs? So I just want to know, the pop quiz is, I want to know the last 10 first overall NHL picks to win the Stanley Cup. The last 10. There haven't been a lot. There's been 55 first overall draft picks in the NHL, and only 16 have won the Stanley Cup.
Sean, you want to go back and forth?
Yeah, sure. So within the last 10?
Yeah.
All right. 10. So, Sean, I'll start.
Go ahead.
Stamkos.
I was going to say Stamkos.
Got it.
Well, I'm going in order here.
All right. So you go Stamkos. Give me Patrick Kane.
That's right. Also in order.
Ovechkin.
That's right.
Crosby.
Yep.
Fleury.
That's right. All right, you guys got 5 already.
Let's go with last 10, 16 overall. Would Mario?
Mario just makes it. He's number
That's why I was
9.
going back. I was going to go on the other end. Okay.
Number 9.
LeCavalier.
That's right. So you guys have 7. You need 3 more.
All right. So if Mario's on that list, would Yzerman be on that list?
He is not. He is not.
Mike Modano.
Hey, there you go. Well done. Gallo, you're killing it.
Mike Modano. Oh, yeah. You picked that up, eh? Another number 1 pick.
89 draft, my friend.
89.
So there's 2 left. They're both quite hard, I would say.
Number 1 pick?
Not the obvious ones, you would think.
He wasn't a number 1. Never mind. I was going to just yell Eric Stahl.
Number 2 in the Fleury draft.
Mm-hmm.
I know. He was number 2. How am I thinking here? Now I'm trying to think out loud. So number one picks. All right, Mitch, go ahead. I don't want it to drag too long.
I don't know if he won a cup. I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to say Roman Hamrlik.
He did not win a cup. That was a good pick, but similar type play. Well, not similar type player, but similar type pick would be there.
Oh. No, Johnson didn't win a pick.
No. We're talking a little further back now, the last two.
Okay, so now we're going
number
further
8,
back.
Number 8 and number 10. One of them won a cup with the Canadiens.
A number one overall pick that won it with the Canadiens.
Brian Bellows.
No.
No. Bellows was a first overall.
He was a second overall pick, I believe.
He was second overall pick?
Yes.
Bellows was?
Yeah.
Savard was Savard a first round pick? No, he wasn't first overall.
No.
He was a first round, but he wasn't a first overall.
No.
So then was it made?
It's someone very random. He has 2 Stanley Cups. That's the number 10. Bobby Smith is number 11. So
Bobby Smith is number 11?
Bobby Smith is number 11. Very close.
Pick, Bobby Smith.
Yes, he was.
The coveted number 11. Now that hits me. The number 11 hits me, Gallo. With the Canadiens.
That's right. In 86.
Who's the number one overall pick on the Canadiens?
He wasn't drafted by the Canadiens. He won a cup with the Canadiens.
I know. That's why I went with Bellows.
Yeah. He
Muller was also a number 2.
Ramage. Oh, sorry. I just actually gave it to you. So it would be the number 10 is Rob Ramage.
He was a first overall pick,
Ramage? He was a first overall pick, yeah.
Wow.
Ramage. And he won the cup twice with the Flames and the Canadiens.
I did not know he was a first overall pick. So then the other one you said, like Roman Hammer, like it's got to be a defenseman.
It is.
Who did he win the cup with?
You want me to Detroit?
He won with Detroit.
Because Lidstrom wasn't.
No.
Chelios, no. The Russian guys.
No.
Who's the defenseman?
Larry Murphy.
Very close. Joe Murphy.
Joe Murphy. That's a good question, Dave.
You got it.
Poor Joe Murphy.
The other ones from 12 to 16: Rick Green, Denis Potvin, Guy Lafleur.
You know what? I should have said Rick Green when you said 86 Habs.
Right.
I definitely would have said that.
And Régent Hull, and then a goaltender named Michel Place, who was a backup goalie for one of the Canadiens wins.
Right.
So, Dave, are you trying to say that drafting first is not good?
Yes, exactly. No one should ever try to draft first overall. It's just the odds are not in your favor. You know.
Interesting. That's a good pop quiz. I like that one, Dave. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Thanks for having you on. This is brought to you by Trentadue Entertainment. We're good.
Name that podcast.
All right, guys, we got to name that podcast. What do we got? What are your notes there, Mitch?
I'm going to go with my battery's dead.
I like it.
I think you wanted to keep going back. You've been going down that toilet one. When you had Arizona poop emoji, toilet, and they all never got chosen. So your battery is Gallo's battery is dead.
I like it. Let's give him that.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks. That's the Post Game Pints podcast. Campbell, Gallo, Trentadue.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
Awesome!
No.
Come on.
VBF.